Hello, this is wmpyr. For today's lesson, I want to talk about improvised weapons. Okay, so first off, I want you guys to understand that first and foremost, our skills are developed with the sticks. So what we're looking to do here is not just grab whatever is there and then use that as a weapon. It's actually, we're trying to transfer the skills that we have from the sticks to whatever we can find. So the things that we're looking for, we want as much as possible our stick skills to transfer to them. So that's the number one way of thinking is, and if you don't train with the sticks enough, then it's kind of meaningless. You have to train. You have to have some sort of base of skill, because if not, then it's just, you know, you grab whatever and do whatever, and that's not very good, you know. So it has to come from a solid foundation. That is the sticks. Number two is not all things are made equal. So, you know, there's some things when you look around your room or you look around wherever you are in the office, some things make better weapons than others. That's just the way it is. That's the fact. So you want to develop a good eye to where you go, that's a good weapon, that's not, or how do I use it? With this, I have to be more limited. With this, I could use it a lot more. You know, so that knowledge, experience, and having that eye is very important. Okay, so that being said, the first thing is I don't want to cover obvious stuff. Like, for example, this right here. This is a comb, and it's fairly thick, strong plastic. And as you can see, it's pretty freaking solid. This is an obvious choice, you know, just look at it. It's like a duh. So I don't want to cover this. I don't want to cover stuff like that. So what I want to cover today is stuff that, you know, you might go, I don't think so, you know, so things like that. So the first one is this. This is the plastic spoon, very cheaply made, and it is not a good improvised weapon. 100%, this is not a good choice. However, if this is all you got, the one thing I want to advise is you want a minimum of 2 and put them together. If you have 3 or 4, even better. Put them together, and you're going to hold it like this. This grip comes from the knife. The knife comes from the stick. You know, that's our order. So stick first, then knife. But this is a grip that we use with the knife, which is the curled pointer finger and then the thumb on top. So you're doing this, okay? So since you have 2 spoons, it's a little bit stronger, it's a little bit more fortified, and your grip makes it even stronger. And so boom, you target the eye, right? You target the eyes this way, you target the facial areas, sensitive areas of the face. And then because you have them compounded together, you can use to scrape the spoon area for scraping. So now this may actually have cutting capability as well. And like I said, it's much stronger when you have a minimum of 2 spoons together. Now, the other side, which is even better, is this pointy part right here. Because there's 2, it's a little bit stronger together. And now you can use this as a hammer fist. And you could also scrape as well. So that's one to... We're making the best of something that is not good. And you might be surprised with the outcome there. The next one is this. This is a coaster. Okay, so this is where you put the drink on top so it doesn't ruin the table. You get this coaster, first thing is your palm. You want to put it right on the strong area of the palm and make sure you got a good grip this way. So from here, got it like this, and I'm going to rotate the wrist. And it's like I'm trying to feed a cookie into Cookie Monster. All right, so I'm just striking out like so. Okay. And the other thing that I could do with this, of course, is when we get closer, is I could once again use it for scraping. I could use it for this kind of motion where I might even be able to cut with it, even though it is on the thicker side. That's why when I do this, if it actually gives me a good grip, it doesn't dig into my hand in a painful way. So that's why I'm comfortable striking with it. But I might be able to cut with it. You never know. So the other thing is, something that I've seen is a hand axe. This is a hand axe grip where you're going to use it to strike. So this is kind of like a caveman technique where they get a type of rock and then they're using it as a hand axe. So boom, boom, that's the idea right there. Use it as a hand axe and strike in close range. From a longer range, boom, boom, you can strike like so. And then the one that people oftentimes forget is to actually, you could throw this, okay? And the moment I say throw, a lot of people start going, I don't know, you know, but remember, in our Filipino martial arts, we have the 4 ways to train with a weapon. And this was taught to me in the early 90s, not like this. I had to categorize it like this, but throwing the stick, throwing weapon was taught to me in the early 90s in the harness system that I had learned back in the day. So I was surprised to learn it back then, but yeah, it's something that I kept with me all these years. So number 1 is to use it as an impact weapon, right? So that's what we're doing. We're striking, impact weapon. Number 2 is an edge weapon, a blade. So like I said, you might be able to cut with this. Number 3 is a flexible weapon. So to use this as a flexible weapon, I would have to put this like inside a sock or a grocery bag and put it in there, and now I can use it as a flail, you know? I could swing it around. Now it's a flexible weapon. That's number 3. And then number 4 is projectile weapon. So yes, we actually throw this, you toss this at the opponent to maybe not necessarily take them out with it, but to distract them so that I can do something else. And one of the things I want people to understand is that when you do this, it's once again not to throw it and knock them out, because chances of that happening is not good. And the other thing is, if I throw this, I might give it to them. Like now, when it falls, they could grab it and they could use it, so that's something to worry about. And the other thing is, I lose my weapon. So if I have this in my hand and I throw it, now I don't have it anymore. So if you are going to throw it, you want to make sure you have other weapons available. And once again, it needs to have a purpose. Why did you throw it? You know, you can't just throw it because you're frustrated and you threw it at them, you know, or it's a Hail Mary throw and you're hoping something would happen from it. It's not very smart, right? So it needs to be strategic. So, and the other thing is, you don't have to be 20 feet away to throw it, okay? You could throw it from here. See, Stickman is right here, and you see maybe he's a little bit out of my reach, okay? And then I throw it to make up for that and make contact. So you don't have to be mega far away. This goes the same with the knife too. A lot of people want to throw it from, 10 feet away, 15 feet away or more. And it really, you don't have to be that far away. So that's something I want you guys to remember. The next thing is, I'm going to go to the stick. We train using the stick. Normally the sticks are made of rattan. In this case, I'm using PVC, so you can see there is a hole through it. And when you have something like this where there is a hole, now you can scrape with it much, much more effectively than if this was made of solid rattan. So once you're using that, we could use the same concept there with a lid. A lid is something that I think is very, very overlooked, and I personally like it. So you get the lid like this in your hand, and you're doing a palm strike. Once you do that palm strike, now I can scrape. I can scrape all over his face with it, and it's definitely not feel good. You don't want to do this to yourself. I mean, I'm not going to do it to myself. And yeah, it's not, I mean, on the bridge of the nose, on the eye area, this is not going to feel good, okay? And I don't recommend you do it to yourself, but, get a feel, see what it feels like, and you'd be surprised. And of course, number 4, you can toss this as well. A good way to practice that is to get a cardboard box, put it on top of a table, and practice tossing this in there, hard. Boom, as hard as you can. And once again, you don't have to be super far away. If you're not confident with your throwing skills, then just make sure the box is much, much larger and don't throw it as hard. All right, so the last one is something, maybe a lot of people will overlook, and it's this thing right here. This is a conditioner bottle. You could also use a shampoo bottle. The first thing is right here. This part, you can use to cut. And you'd be surprised, okay, you'd be surprised that it can cut. So it can definitely scrape for sure, but yeah, it's sharper than you might expect. So, you know, try it out. Don't do it to yourself, because it won't be pleasant, I guarantee it. The other thing is, more basic, is number one, the impact weapon. So obviously you can use it as an impact weapon. Number two, bladed weapon, edge weapon. Number three is a flexible weapon. So if you go like this, now you're using it as a flexible weapon. So bam, this is more like a blackjack, right? And then, so that's number three. Number four is a projectile weapon. So yeah, you could kind of like throw this like a dart or something. And you could unscrew the lid and toss the lid like the other stuff that I showed you guys. And so yeah, this actually, believe it or not, this one thing covers all four of the four major ways that we use improvised weapons, and the four general types of weapons that I said, which is impact, bladed, flexible, and projectile. So those four. There's actually a fifth capability here that is oftentimes overlooked, and that is the what is it? The gel that's inside here, the liquid agent. You pour that into your hand, you know, or smear it onto your fingertips, and now you could, you know, throw that glob onto their face and then dig it into their face. Okay, you're smearing it onto their face, into the eyes, you know, like when you're doing your when you're cleaning your hair with some shampoo and it gets into your eyes and it stings. That's what you're looking for, you know. So you want it to sting their eyes, okay? So that's the idea, is to actually use the liquid agent and mess them up. So, all right, that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.